So the video is going to be of a slightly different tone to the two I've made earlier today, which were and would have sounded enough like utter depression. And in honesty, they were. But I find myself out in public at the moment, and I'm just taking a 20-30 minute break to let the painkillers work. And I thought I'd make a live stream to waste some time. But essentially I'm just trying to stay focused, and that's what needed right in a second, because I've come out into public and I just want to get home and be in my own space and not be around so much autistic stimulating stuff like the noise and the people and everything else. But the way the journey has turned into is that I entered the high street and a very busy, borderline happy Christmas energy area in the high street, and I was screaming, my body was doing all sorts. It was not working as it should, and it wasn't in any way to the way my body works. So it was very, very distressing. Now bear in mind, I'll scream down a high street due to my mental health in the best of days, but that's all taking a backseat at the moment. Anyway, I made it down the high street, and look, I look like a homeless person at the moment. I appreciate I've got half finished tattoos down my leg, and where I don't have a shower at the boat, and I'm washing, how would you describe it? I'm washing old school styling. I'm still washing, but it's just not up to shower luxury standards. And where I'm physically disabled, it's I'm looking at my legs now, and they're dirty, and I walk with on the backs of my trainers at the moment. So my backs of my trainers are down because it helps walking. I'd walk barefoot if I could, just to help with the physical discomfort. And I appreciate walking barefoot anyway. It's nice to feel the floor, where shoes take that away from you. So I've entered the high street, and I feel I've got a chip on my shoulder with everything at the moment. And a lady stops me as I'm going into the more posh internal shopping centre part. I'm just going to rest the phone so I can make a rollie. And she asked if I need any help. Now, in the moment, I'm not thinking, and to be honest, there's not much she can do anyway. I wouldn't, unless there's something that someone can actually do. I'm not exactly going to accept an offer for help, but the gesture in itself means a lot. Because with my mental health, when I've been screaming in the past, I don't get approached and offered any help, because physically, so I'm just distressed. I'm in my own space, but when it's physical, oh, 1 second. When the problem is physical, you're not really in your own space. It's like you're constantly looking for the next thing to lean on and help you hobble down. But I didn't take it in the moment, the gesture. I said thank you, I was polite. Made it to Boots, and I was still screaming in Boots, waiting for the pharmacist to serve me. And anyway, I asked at the counter. The lady was busy. She said, "Please." Well, she didn't say please. She was actually borderline rude with her tone. But I couldn't rise to that in any way, no matter how distressed I was. And I lost my place to the next customer service point. But it wasn't anything I could focus on. I just had to deal with the pain, focus on the pain. And by that point, and that's the good thing, because essentially I needed to push myself through what I was experiencing, make headway in applying the Qigong that I know, and it felt like I was beginning to gain some control. Anyway, the pharmacist must have seen me from behind the counter, and he came out and tried to help. He was very helpful. Couldn't find my prescription that had been sent to him from the GP, and anyway, long story short, it was the other Boots, and picked up my prescription. My mental health started flaring up for a moment in the shop, but that didn't last too long before I was given a prescription. And I started walking across the street trying to find where am I going to get a drink from to take the painkillers. And I thought a nice cup of tea shouldn't cost more than £1. And I was beginning to work through the pain with the Qigong by then. And I went into Pret a Manger, and I was over at the wrong side of the counter. And the gentleman behind served me, and with Pret a Manger, there's a chance the battery might die. I'm down to about 10% now. But with Pret a Manger, they offer on the house drinks occasionally. And in honesty, I was over at the wrong side of the counter, and I was more than happy to pay, and I said, look, I just need a minute to be able to come over to that side, because I was trying to get back into control of what was going on. And by the time I started to move towards the other side, he said, it's on the house. And ordinarily, with myself, I'm very, I don't know if it's autism or if it's it's like honour, because it was half in the back of my mind thinking, hopefully I get offered an on-the-house drink, because I can't really afford to be wasting money on coffees and teas when I'm out in public. I need to get my finances in check. He offered me the drink on the house in the end, and I accepted. But as I crossed the high street to go to Pret a Manger, the police pulled up. And I'm pretty sure they came for the distress that I was making. And it's understandable somebody screaming and looking as I do. But I'm aware of things, and they didn't come over and approach me straight away. Well, they didn't come over and approach me at all. And I thought, oh, that's odd. And I came out from Pret a Manger, came to the bench, made the rollie, took my painkillers, and I was planning to just sit down for 20-30 minutes so they let them work before I need to go to CEX, the exchange shop where you can, it's like cash converters, where I'm taking an old piece of technology to well, for obvious reasons. And as I was here, there's a bunch of youths that were there, and one of them was speaking to me. That he spotted me earlier as I was walking down the high street. I don't know if I ignored him or I said said my situation. It was a bit of a blur. He started speaking to me, checking if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm taking my medication now. I should be alright in 5 minutes. And then he started to be sarcastic. Oh yeah, take your medication. And I said, what are you doing? I'm not an idiot because I'm in pain. There's no need to be sarcastic. And I think he was a little taken back, and his friend started to come in, and basically I know how to handle situations, but I let him know that the way he was speaking to me as a human being, someone in distress, that means no harm to anybody, it was inappropriate to look big in front of his friends. So I started to... No, thank you, kind sir, but I'm okay. Merry Christmas. This happens often because of my appearance. I get offered food and money. Most of the time it doesn't bother me. When I think it's out of place, that's when it bothers me. And anyway, I'm at the bench and I'm smoking, and there's police around me, and I've got nothing to hide. And they just gave me a minute, being by my side, making it known that, look, we're here. What are you doing? Are you up to no good? Are you gonna run? What are you gonna do? I've always been like this. I always get nervous around authority. It's from my dad as an authority figure. But I think they saw what I was trying to do, that I was just trying to smoke and calm down. And they left. They didn't say a word to me. And that's the point of the title. I appreciate that level of I don't know what to call it, checking by the police, because I know my appearance, I know what I look like, I know the label that this appearance has, and I know that this label isn't a good one. It's like, it's got a reputation for being up to no good. I think they saw my intentions, and they didn't even come and speak to me, so I could still focus on dealing with my troubles. And it's been mostly like that, my interactions with the police over the... As much as they have knocked on my door one too many times in what I would otherwise like, is just to state that. It's nothing more. As I said, I'm just trying to calm down, buy myself some time, and the live stream started by me wanting to just acknowledge the police, but on today's journey, other than that kid who was just being a kid, he wasn't doing it because of anything other than just trying to improve his own social circumstance. The kindness of people has helped today. And in way of music, well, you can hear it in the background. It's the Christmas music. So there's not much more to say other than I still despise the way CEX, Computer Exchange, manipulate their name in the way of sex. That really isn't good for the youth. It's not good for anybody, really. Why don't you just call yourself CEX? Why do you have to call yourself sex? I can't not complain, can I? But the way I've worked through the pain somewhat with the Qigong training, I mean, literally, my arm, I must have clipped my left arm back in its socket. It was that bad. My hip's still out of its socket, I'm pretty sure. Or something ridiculous along those lines. They're just not, I'm not able to walk in a straight line. There's no explanation in my mind as to why this is taking place, considering how active I've been. In other words, as an honest monitoring of my own body and health, this just like came on overnight. So it's a real confusion as to what's going on there. So I'll leave this live stream now before I start complaining anymore. I'm putting a down tone on it, and hopefully make my way to CEX, working through the pain. I won't look at peace. I'll be stressed, but hopefully these few roll-ups and the live stream and coffee, plus the medication, it should start working anytime soon. Should allow me to go about my day and go home.